Hello and welcome to another exciting episode of Accessible Board Gaming, brought to you by...
Hi guys, I'm Colin.
And Mark. So, welcome to Kingdominos, a lovely little game, 2 to 4 players, only takes about 15 minutes, from Blue Orange. Very popular game, won many awards including Game of the Year. I actually really like this game. I'm going to talk through it as I open up and we'll go through. Colin, feel free to throw any questions. We have played this once together, so the questions might be more for the audience members than anyone else. Well, we've got the rule book here, lovely little short rule book, but we won't be needing that, already know the rules. Okay, a few things. We start with little meeples. So Colin, choose a colour. Pink sounds good, so Colin can be pink.
Pink is awesome.
Pink is awesome. And I will be yellow.
Almost as awesome as pink.
So, aim of the game. Kingdominos, you are a lord, a king, or a queen, who looking to develop and build your kingdom. What you have is a little castle. This is an optional step, but I quite like it, so I'll find you the random pink pieces, and I will have the yellow. Build a little castle just for amusement, but here's your pink one. But again, this is an optional step, and you choose your kingdom tile. So your home tile for pink and for yellow. 2 to 4 players, so obviously the other colours are for the other players. While we're doing that, I'll just put my guy together and the rest will go away. Really nice little portable game, so quite happy with this one. So the way that you build your kingdom or your civilization is you use tiles. You use these numbered tiles that will be presented 4 at a time, and we'll just order them correctly. So we go from low to high, and the aim here is we will flip these over and we will select a random tile, or a tile of our choice, using our little meeple. So Colin, while I build my township, why don't you choose a tile?
I'll take this one.
Okay, so what's on this tile? Just maybe describe it so that we can bring everyone up to speed.
So on this tile, I'm actually going to swap at the last minute. It's good that Mark gave me some breathing room. I'm going to choose this one, which has blue for water, and then green for farmland, and it has 2 crowns on it, so it looks very good. What do the crowns mean, Mark?
Very good. So the aim is to build up your kingdom, and when you build up your kingdom, you earn points at the end of the game. The points are earned by the number of crowns you have, coupled with the number of adjoining squares of the same type. When you place your meeple, we then alternate all the way through. So then Colin will probably pick the swamp one, I thought so, and then I'll place this. Now, the order does matter, and if there was 4 players, this would be 1 of each colour, but with 2, we both get 2 pieces. What happens is we start from the lowest number, which if you recall, this was the lowest. We start with a piece, and I will place this anywhere on my kingdom. So my kingdom starts with my tile with my little castle on it. I place the tile anywhere I like. Must connect somewhere. It could connect here, however you like, but I'm going to place it here. Colin?
So I'll take the next one, which is this one, and again, we'll place it next to my castle.
Okay. Now, the castle tile, the home tile, if you like, behaves as any type of tile. It could be a forest, it could be any, it doesn't make any difference. It basically is the generic tile. Now, the second one Colin places there, that is also okay, because the blue connects to the generic tile. My turn. If I were to place something, I'm not allowed to place this here. One of your tiles needs to match one of the tiles that you're placing this on, or the home tile. In this case, I can place it like this, for example, whereby this tile matches the home tile, and then the other tiles don't need to match. We repeat this process, so we place 4 more, down 1, 2, 3, 4, and we order them accordingly. So we have 4, 35, 43, 45. Thank you. We flip them over and we remember the order we had. 1, 2, 3, 4. The order as we go here, we start from the top. Now, one of the benefits, of course, of being here is I get to go first. I decide that I already have one of these. I would like to make it even better, so I'll take another one. Then we go down the line, pink, pink, and yellow. And before we place these tiles, we then place 4 more tiles, and this will be for the next round. Same again, from low to high. I got this, don't worry, thank you for the help. We flip this over, and we continue. And this is the entire game. So now I start, I go from the top, I'll place this onto one, maybe I want to place it here. I will place my forest connected to this, and then pink up.
Yeah, and this is an interesting little bit that we spotted earlier, is that the first time you go through, you only see the ones you place on, and then you place them. This time I get to see the next one before I place this one.
Yeah.
So then I might pick this guy and say, okay, I'm gonna take some blue, because I know I've got a blue here, and I'm gonna create a huge blue river.
Don't place this just yet though, so we still go through all the way through.
Indeed.
And then my go, I'll place this here. I think I would like to improve on my swamp.
Which is foolish, because now I'm gonna have an even better bit of blue.
And then Colin gets to place this. Before we place these ones, we then replace the next 4 tiles. Now, the game continues until all of the tiles that have been allocated are used up. When it's 2 to 4 players, there are, I forget exactly how many, it's basically half of them. I think there's about 24 of the tiles or something like that. The result is that each of us get the size of about a 5 by 5 square, depending on how you place them. But the way that it works is the maximum size of your kingdom can be 5 by 5. So you couldn't have a very long, thin kingdom that extends 10 by 2, for example. We start, same again, from the top. Next one up will be Mark. So I will choose one. Now, none of these are of any value to me right now, because I have no crowns for forest, for water, or for field. However, my opponent has a lot of water, and he's about to get a crown again. So each crown, maybe it's a good time to talk about the scoring, Colin. So the way that the scoring works is for each tile with a crown, you get 1. So by itself, this one is worth 2 because there are 2 crowns. If this is by itself, this one is worth 1 crown. 1 point rather. But however, what Colin has done is he's matched it with a series of other matching tiles, which means that you take the number of crowns on this segment, in this case it's 1, times by the number of segments there. So it's 1 times 1, 2, 3, 4. However, so that's me 4 points. However, if Colin also attaches, which I assume he will, attaches this crown to this connection somehow, then it will be 1, 2 crowns times by the number of blue pieces, which now suddenly goes from 4 points to 10 points. And that is maybe a little snippet of a tip, is the way you get more points is by grouping the similar types of tiles with the most crowns. So I will actually see this, and I don't really want the blues, but I don't want Colin to have the blue. So I'm going to use my turn to place it on the blue, even though I don't need it. Crazy. I will place this here. What we can see is I'm trying to build up my swamp. That's my turn done. Next up is the pink. Okay, and then he places his tile. Finally, I have no choice, so I place this here, and then I place my tile. Okay.
And as that, just to add on to that, so that's why you'll see this one is the highest number when we turn these over, because it's got a crown. So it's a very valuable piece, versus this one, you only get 1 color, no crowns, it's going to be less valuable.
Exactly. And so you have to bear, that's one of the, maybe we can almost cover this a little bit here, but bear in mind where your piece is will determine your next turn's order. So if, for example, there were 2 choices and both of them were rubbish, you're better off choosing the higher one, or in terms of the positioning, i.e. the lower number, because then you'll get to go first on. So in this case, Colin gets to go first this round, right? Which means, just for himself, he will get to have the placement of his pink meeple first. Okay, so we flip these over. Now,
Dragon.
we got, oh yeah, and this is a nice little touch, we didn't mention this. I like the attention to detail and the fun, almost comic-like hand-drawn images that we have here. So Colin likes to collect monsters. No doubt he'd be liking to collect this one. So Colin has taken a rather exciting mine. I will choose to go for this guy just because what I can see is if I place this one here, next turn I can place this one here and it connects this, and I'm getting a lot of points. So kind of try and use your planning ahead to decide what the best plan would be. I don't need any of these. What I will, however, do is choose the top one so that I get to go first next round, and then I'll place this. Now, this one, I have 1, so maybe I'll just talk about this for a second. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This is the maximum width of my kingdom, so I'm not allowed to place something like this, which otherwise would be a legal move because it's my hometown square, but that would mean my kingdom is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 along. This is not allowed. I'm only allowed to go as far as 5 wide and 5 deep. That means I can either go, if I placed it up here, for example, this would be the size of my kingdom, and if I placed it down here, this would be the size of my kingdom. And I have to decide what I'm going to do. I think what I'll do is I will place it here. Here. Then, move this along so I don't have a bit of space for Colin. Then, this is actually going to be, I believe, the last round if we did this. So, 1, 2, yeah, this is the last round. So we try again. Same again, flip them all over. Start at the top. I've got this one here. This is going to be, put this here, but kind of meaningless for me. I should add, if you can play, you have to play. So in this case, I have shot myself in the foot. Okay, so I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, which means that I can't place anything above. I need to place this piece. Okay, so wherever I place it has to be a legal move. So the only place I can place it is this, which means that if I wanted to take this guy, this can no longer be placed here, which would have been a much better move for me to do, but you have to play if you can. So I'll do that. And so in this case, this one was not of any value to me because I can't place this here. So instead I'll take this one because I can place it to turn my wood into some points. Colin? That's good because Colin now, he can see that this one is going to turn these, what would be 0 points, into 3 points. Good stuff. Next up, I'll place this onto, so the better value is probably, this guy will go here. So I'm going to place this one down here, which means that if I choose this one, it will be more water for me, so I'll pick this one. Okay. And then for Colin, finally, he places this here. Lots of points for Colin.
Big mine.
Big mines. Okay. Now, Colin won't be able to take advantage of this last square, which is quite nice, because what's going to happen is he'll place this one, and he has to place it. Now remember, he's got 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 by 5. So he can't place it here, nor here. So this piece will have to go here. Once he's placed that there, this piece will not fit anywhere else. So this is going to be a burned piece, but this piece has turned his into some better stuff. A bit like I got screwed by this piece here. So I'll place this one somewhere I can, which makes no difference. I could do it here or here. Because neither of these have a crown, it's irrelevant, but I'll place it here. I don't know if it's still on the screen, so I'll move it up to here. Colin? Sorry, it's my go. I'll place it here, and then it's your go. Sorry.
Cool. So as you said, this guy's going to go over here. I'm going to put my guy back in the console. This one, wasted.
Wasted, it burned, spurned by his little meeple.
And my meeple will go back in my castle.
Great idea, I like the little idea of putting it in the castle. So, there is a one more step to the game, which is we now have to calculate the winner. So all that would happen is, if we were to count up the points, we would look at any squares that have a crown. In this case, there are none here. And then these are 3 together, so you'll count 3, and then you'll add up the number of crowns and multiply that together. So in this case, we've got 12 points here. And then we keep going through, all the way through, count them all up. The winner is the person out of the 2 to 4 players who are playing who has the most points. We also like to add an extra bit of fun, which is not in the official rules, but it is in the accessible board gaming rules, which is Colin.
So this is just at the end, just for a bit of fun. We look at the kingdom that we've just created playing the game, and just take an opportunity to go around the table, and everyone just kind of talks a little story about their kingdom just based on what they see in front of you. So for example, with my one, I might say that my kingdom is an old Viking kingdom because my castle is on an estuary, and they have made all their money out of mining because I got a lot of crowns on mining. But as a result, there's been some environmental damage here, and the spirits of the forest are not happy. So you can see this lovely little detail here of some giant dude with giant feet. And so people have fled to the water, so they started colonizing the water over here. So that's my little just random story about that, just for fun.
Very good, guys. It's good fun. I'll say mine in a second. It's good fun because what this does is it helps bring to life, even though it doesn't add any points, it doesn't help anything, it's purely for amusement. So in my case, Colin, I'm nowhere near Colin. Colin's got his little Viking town. Mine is a very old settlement. It started as some lumberjacks deep in this great forest. They created a settlement here. It was quite safe. It's far away from the sea, and so although there's some trading, there's not much. Most of it comes from harvesting what is essentially these magic witches in the swamp. So they create their own wealth out of these kind of either tourists coming or them solving these challenges with magic, and then they make a bit of money from the lumber that they have here to support themselves. They have some fields, but this is only to keep themselves alive here. It's not a lot. All right, so that's kind of our little silly thing we like to do at the end, and it does have some hidden benefits. One, of course, is adds a bit of extra silliness, a bit of fun, but one is it can help people feel a bit more willing to role play, willing to make up a story. Because there's no right or wrong. It doesn't make any difference. I could have just said instead that this is a copy of a town that was they had a huge earthquake that destroyed what was a beautiful lake here, and the water disappeared, and some magic rose. That doesn't make any difference, right? But I like that bit of fun adds something there. It gets people who might otherwise be a bit nervous to get involved, and maybe can help them try other games that are a bit more role-playing, story-based, a bit more heavy on that.
Yeah, and if you've got kids, it's a good chance for them to learn some storytelling as well. So in terms of counting up the points, again, one of the things I like about this game, because we'll talk a little bit about the things that we like as we've done throughout, is I like the maths is relatively simple. It's just elementary stuff. It's just multiplication. So it won't put people off so much as well. So it's quite easy to say here, okay, 1, 2, 3 times 2 is 6. And then this one here is 5 times 2 is 10, so that's 16. Then this one's just going to be 4 times 1, so that gives me 20 points. And then over here I've got 5 times 2 is 10, so 30 points, and then the last little 3 over here. These ones don't get me any points because there's no consoles on them.
You also should note that there's no drawback he doesn't get penalised for these gaps. It's rather more like he could have got extra points had he been lucky. So if he'd realised, if he'd known this, he could have placed it like this, and then later on could have got an extra few points here. But it's all very well to say that now when we've got all the knowledge afterwards. But as we play, so that's kind of how it works. Any last comments to add, Colin?
I think just a few things to call out, just in terms of if you want to get a bit better as you play as well.
Yeah.
We mentioned them throughout. You made the great point that once you can see the next set of tiles, think a little bit ahead when you're making your choices. The first tile is not often a very good tile, that's why it's not many points, but it means that you can move faster on the next turn and pick a good one. So if you know I really need to get a certain type of tile, it might be worth sacrificing a bit to go first.
And on that, if I really know that Colin needs a certain tile, it might be worth sacrificing my turn to take that tile, like I think I might have done in the game, or thought about it at the time, whereby Colin might have wanted, let's say there was 2 more blues sitting there, and he could have had another blue, and suddenly we start adding up lots of points, or this one was sitting there with another crown that I might, even if it was a pointless tile for me, I might take it just to disrupt his plans, to stop him from racking up too many points. The dynamics become slightly different when we play 4 players, because then here it's me against him. If I see he needs that, I can take it. But if I see there's 3 other people, my choices might be more selfish or whatever. So all of that kind of stuff you have to choose when you're playing the game. I do quite like that they make this kind of little castle totally pointless, but we could have played like this just as easily, but I quite like the little addition of having a 3D castle that you can store your little meeples in once you've developed your kingdom. So this is Kingdominos. I really like this game. It's fun. It's got a lot of replayability, whereby it doesn't get boring very quickly. Anyone can pick it up. It can be from playing with kids to playing with adults who've had a few too many drinks. There is a short learning curve, but a lot of intricacy and great detail, attention to detail. A lot of fun. A little zoom in of the tile. So Colin, I'll give you the last word. Any last comments?
No, again, very supportive. I would give it like 5 out of 5 if I was giving it reviews. Very easy to pick out, but a bit more tactical depth than you expect. So fantastic. Thanks for taking us through that, Mark. Very well explained. Just for those of you watching, if there's any other tips you want to give other viewers of this video, just leave them in the comments. It'd be really fantastic to hear your perspective on it, if you played it, what you felt about the game. And also we're looking to do more how-to videos, so if you have some particular games you recommend us reviewing, again, call that out in the comments. Just say, recommend, and then tell us which game you'd like us to take a look at.
Great stuff.
Yeah,
thanks Colin, and thanks for watching Accessible Board Gaming.
Yeah, see you later guys, bye.
Mm-hmm.